Hi, welcome to Social Media 101 for Businesses with me, Neha Avasthi, in Module 5, which is all about social selling. So this is why we are here. This is why you're learning social media in the first place, because you want to make some sales for your business. And that is a very good objective. So let's dig into it, what social selling is. And in this module, we will be learning how old versus new model of selling play a role in social media, in the modern selling practices, and what we do and what we don't do on social media. The concept of funnel, how to convert those followers into client, and where does social media play a role in that funnel. So 5 tactics you can use today to start selling on social media. Let's get into it. So this is the old model of selling, and on the right hand side you see the new model of selling. So the old model of selling was all about cold calling people, like picking up your phone and just having a chat with someone you don't know, and really just starting off by, okay, like, can we meet? You want to get in front of those people. And once you do arrange that meeting, then you have a sales presentation, right? And then that sales presentation, you get to qualify the leads, people who are interested in what you have to sell and what you're selling in terms of your product or service. You qualify those leads and then you take them further to making the actual sale. Now, the new model of selling is all about social media. Social media is there with lots and lots of people who are engaged and giving their attention. We talked about attention economy in module 1, if you remember. So that's where they're choosing to pay attention. We have them gathered on social media. What we do now, instead of giving them a sales presentation to strangers, we educate these people. So we give value upfront. We educate about our product, our industry, ourselves, and we solve their problems. We solve their mini problems way ahead of time, even before they are interested or whether they would buy from us or not. But this is the new way of giving value upfront, because that is the only time they will engage with you. Human beings are selfish people, like we're all selfish, and we want something to gain where we are paying attention. So when you solve their problems ahead of time, when you educate them, that's the only time they will pay attention and choose to engage with you. So this is a new way of selling, using social media, using the educational model where, again, you're educating them about all the different things about your industry or your brand, and that's when they engage with you and eventually buy from you. So social selling is the process of developing relationships as the part of your sales process. And social selling is the art of using social media to find, connect, and understand those people who could be your potential clients and really nurture that relationship. It is the modern way of building meaningful relationship with your customers, so that you are on top of their mind. You're the first person that they think of when they're ready to buy your product or service. So it's always about getting in front of them in a very meaningful, helpful, and a value-based way, so that they develop this relationship with you mentally, with your brand mentally, that when it comes the time to actually buy from you, they think of you as their first choice. So social media or social selling is nothing more than selling on social media. So now you have your audience, you have created your storefront in terms of your Facebook page or Instagram profile, and now people are wondering, how can they trust you? And trust is the digital currency. So the first step is to create authentic content that shows who you are, because when you do that, people learn to see you not only as a business but as a human being. And guess what? People buy from other human beings. People buy from other people. They don't buy from a logo. They don't buy from a building. They don't buy from your headquarters. they don't buy from your company name, they buy from people. Not websites, not logos. Just a really important point again to remember that when you have an audience, people are listening and engaging with what you have to say. It's very important that you create that meaningful content. So now what do? Now you have the party going on social media, you have some people collected there, people are dressed up and they're chatting, they're having a great time in your social media party. But you're a business and you need to sell something, right? And this is often a little bit sticky for a lot of people. So what do? Like, do you make an announcement and say, hello, who's interested? So what you can do is create that environment where they do put their hand up and say that, yep, they are interested in your product or your service. You can do that through organic content, which means that you're not paying for that content, or you can use paid content. So using free tools provided by each of the social network website to build that community, to interact, and just by sharing great posts and responding to other customers' comments and stuff, that could be an organic approach where you're not paying. But you can also use ads where you pay to display your ads, whatever format they might be, like text, image, carousel, whatever, and you sponsor those messages to social media users based on a particular profile. So these are the two ways you can reach them. The goal remains the same. The goal is to build a deeper connection with your potential clients and customers. So here, the concept of funnel comes into play. And funnel often sounds like a horrid word, but stay with me. It's just a good visual to think about how people come into your world just as strangers, and how you can take them through to a journey to becoming really beloved customers. So at the top, you see in that funnel shape, they discover you for the first time, by having conversations, by connections through organic or paid media on social media. They learn to like and trust you, whether it is on social media or you take them elsewhere to your website, and then you email them and build that know, like, and trust. And then eventually, when they need your service or your product, they buy from you. So it's important that you reach in front of the right people who are potentially likely to buy your services in the future. So this graph really depicts what role social media, at what stage social media comes into play. So social media is really at the top, more or less. Like, I wouldn't make it more complicated at this stage, but just for now, it would be really helpful for you to know that social media really sits at the top, where it creates the awareness about your brand, that your brand exists, what you do, what you're all about, and it creates that awareness on different platforms that you are choosing to engage on. Then you build the know, like, and trust. They know you actually on social media, and then you build the like and trust through your website, through your blog, through your YouTube channel, through email newsletters, or even direct messages at times. Like, you give them more information, you talk to them, and then you close the sale, if that's your process. And then eventually, of course, they buy your services or your products. Now, imagine putting ad to so many people, but social media allows you to get in front of a large number of people. But you need to have some tactics in your kitty to start selling on social media, and we'll get started with those now. So the first tactic that you can use is to host special sessions answering your clients' questions. So your clients have tons and tons of questions. Trust me, like we talked about, the questions that they're asking directly, and the questions that they're just thinking mentally and not choosing to ask because they have some sort of reservation or hesitation. And sometimes they don't even know they have the question like simmering in the back of their heads. So Why not just host a regular chat session to build that relationship and add value at the same time? So you will never run out of ideas what to create when you are in touch with your customers. So do that. Pay attention to the comment section. A lot of people ignore the data that they get in the comment section. People are already commenting, they are asking, they are saying what is nice and what is not. Like, there might be complaints. A lot of businesses ignore that because they're just in a rush or in this frenzy to create more, to get in front of more people, and they ignore the data and the people that they're already interacting with, and they have potential to convert them into customers. So do that. The third one is use call to actions in your content to take your connections offline or to your website. So anytime you're putting a post, just sprinkle them with call to actions, saying that, like, go to my website for more information, or sign up here, or check out the link in the bio. There can be many different ways of doing this, but make sure that you remember not just putting out the content, but actually ending that content with a call to action. And call to action just means that you are asking them to take a simple action, and only one action per post. Don't say that like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram, and then sign up for my newsletter and go and check out my website, and also, by the way, buy from this link. Don't do that. Like, a lot of people just confuse their audience so much by including multiple call to actions. So just one call to action per post. Listen strategically to identify those links. Your customers and your prospects are sharing incredibly valuable information on their social media channel, be it on their personal social media channels or in the conversation maybe they're having on your channel, in your community. They're basically telling you exactly what they want and need, and you might not be paying attention to that. So, they might be asking a question about about a broken, how do I fix my front yard? And if you are a company, if you're a landscaping company, those are the questions that you should be creating content around. 3 tips to beautify your front yard, things like that. So listen strategically and also create content around that. And what you can do is, through that content, because this is a question that they're asking, when you create the content around that and you create a call to action at the end of that content for them to go on your newsletter, or even just to give them value up front, and call to action can be to hire you, and you can tell them that you are a landscaping company and they can hire you. So in that way you can make the sale directly or indirectly through taking them to your database. Okay, so get social in groups. There are groups on various social media channels. So stay in touch with your new social contacts over time. Pay attention to the content that they are posting, and jump in from time to time with liking or commenting and really helping them out with the questions that they're asking, and let them know that you have read their post and you've appreciated what they have to say. And if a contact moves to a new position or a company on LinkedIn, you can send a quick note of congratulations, and just things like that. Just things that you would normally do in real life. So people forget to do those things on social media. So focus on how you can help your contacts or make their life easier. And if you can establish yourself as their go-to person in your industry, guess who they will call when they're ready to make that purchase decision, right? They will call you. So get social on social media. Okay, so how you can plan your social media. So planning keeps you focused, and then you don't have to spend hours and hours and get caught up in the weeds. So reverse engineer your content and just decide which channels you will be posting on and when, and then you know what you're doing for the whole week. So the step one could be making sure, first of all, focusing on business building versus personal use. So just changing that mindset around whether you would be using that channel for your personal use or business can be a huge shift for many businesses, because they're often like, not sure where to draw that line, like whether it is my personal or whether it is business. Just make that decision once and for all and then move on. Then set aside 45 minutes every weekend to plan, like, what events are coming up, what worked in the last week, what topics you will be talking about in the upcoming week, any questions that might have popped up in the last week. You can just talk about all of those things as the content for the upcoming week. Then thirdly, decide which channels and how often will you post, like next week or next month, whatever suits you. You can decide which channel would you be posting on and how often, what would be the frequency of that. Then allocate 1 hour to create and schedule the content, or just simply outsource this part. You can hire someone to do this or do it yourself, but just scheduling will give you that assurity that it is in place. Yeah, and then just schedule it or outsource it. There are many social media managers or interns or someone you can hire on an hourly basis to do that work for you. If you don't want to be doing it, a VA could be a great solution for that. So that's it. In this course, I gave you an overview of the new and the old social selling model. And then we talked about what is social selling and how funnel plays a role and where does social media sit in that funnel. I also went over 5 different tactics that you can use today to start selling on social media. You could host a session to answer the questions, and at the end of the session, you can just tell your people to actually go and buy or check out a sales page. You could pay attention to the comment section, what people are asking for, and really creating content around that, and then giving them a call to action about getting in touch with you or buying from you. You can use call to actions in your comments, in your content, to really take them elsewhere to your website or to newsletter, and really strategically listening to your people and getting social so that they really reach out to you and ask about your services. Okay, so that's it, and thank you for being here and thank you for taking this course. I hope it really helps you and your business, and you get started on the right foot on social media. These are my details, and I hope to keep in touch.